Hi there, and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we'll be learning about integers, okay? And under integers, we'll be learning about the order of operations, okay? The order of operations. Now, as the lesson progresses, anything you don't understand, be sure to contact your tutor, who would be more than happy to help. And yeah, let's jump right into the lesson. So, integers, order of operations. Now, order of operations, what exactly is this about? Now I have this question here, okay, and it says evaluate 2 plus 7 times 3. Okay, 2 plus 7 times 3. And if you're looking to solve this question, basically 2 plus 7 times 3, you could pretty much just go 2 plus 7 gives you 9, 9 times 3 gives you 27. Okay, but then someone else might say, okay, so I have 2 plus 7 times 3, and as opposed to doing the addition first, I want to do the multiplication first. So 2 plus 7 times 3, and I go 7 times 3 gives you 21. 2 plus 21 gives me 23. Now, if you look at this, you find that we actually have different answers, okay? So when we performed addition before multiplication, we had 27, and when we performed multiplication before addition, we had 23. So which of these is correct? Now, I tell you that the second one is correct. So 23 is the correct answer to 2 plus 7 times 3. And the reason for this is in mathematics, there's this very fundamental law that says if you're ever given a question like this where you have to perform two different operations, you're expected to perform multiplication before addition. Irrespective of where they come, their position, you're not supposed to do left to the right, okay? There is a law that says if you have multiple operations in a task, you're expected to perform the multiplication before addition, and that law is the order of operations, okay? And basically the order of operation we write as BIDMAS, okay? So say it, BIDMAS, BIDMAS. And what does BIDMAS stand for? BIDMAS stands for brackets, indices, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. And what this simply means is if you're ever given a question to solve, you're expected to solve for the brackets, solve the brackets first, then the indices, then division, then multiplication, then addition, before finally you do subtraction, okay? And going back to our previous question, okay, basically we have 2 plus 7 times 3, 2 plus 7 times 3, and we just apply BIDMAS, BIDMAS. Now in this case we have two operations, multiplication and addition, and if you look at BIDMAS, M comes before A, so multiplication comes before addition, which tells us when you have a question like this, you expect it to do multiplication before addition. So you go ahead and work the multiplication, you end up with 21 before addition, and you end up with a final answer 23. And that's pretty much it, okay? Pretty much what we'll be learning in this lesson. Let's go ahead and do a few examples. Now, example 1. And example 1 says evaluate 6 plus 16 divided by 4. Okay, so we have two different operations here. We have addition and division, all right? And which would we perform first? We write down BIDMAS, and BIDMAS tells us we need to do D comes before A, so we need to do division before addition. So we start with 16 divided by 4 gives you 4, and then you add 6 plus 4 gives you a final answer 10. Very simple, very straightforward. Let's do another example. Example 2. And example 2 says evaluate 25 times 4 minus 28. So 25 times 4 minus 28. Okay, and we just go ahead and write BIDMAS. We have two different operations here. We have multiplication and subtraction, okay, and we write BIDMAS, and basically BIDMAS tells us to multiply before we add. So go ahead and multiply 25 times 4 gives you 100, and then you have 100 minus 28 gives you a final answer 72. So BidMass tells you the order of operation. It doesn't matter where the operation is. Okay, don't think from the left to the right. When you're working with BidMass, you're working with different operations. You must follow the BidMass law. Okay, if BidMass tells you to solve division before subtraction, you must solve division before subtraction, irrespective of where the operation is. Okay, so another example, example 3. And example 3 says evaluate 15 minus 9 minus 4. Now, this is a very interesting question. Reason being, we have just one operation here. Okay, we have one operation, just subtraction. That's all we're doing here. And what I tell you, very important, is BidMass only applies when you're solving questions involving different operations. Now, in a situation like this where you have just one operation, so just minus, just subtraction, you work from the left to the right as you normally do. Okay, so there's no BidMass involved here, and then you just say 15 minus 9 is 6, 6 minus 4 gives you 2. Simple. Okay, now example 4. And example 4, okay, now this looks interesting. We have 2 times 6 plus 2 times 6 minus 1. So we have multiplication, addition, subtraction, and brackets at play here. Okay, and very simple. Basically, BidMass. This is the first thing you do. Okay, you write BidMass, BidMass. Now, BidMass tells we have brackets, subtraction, multiplication, and addition. Now, BidMass tells us to work the brackets first. Okay, so whatever is in the brackets is what you work first. So we do our brackets. Our brackets, we have 6 minus 1 gives you 5. Okay, so we have 5 there. And then now we have 2 instances of multiplication and 1 addition. And BidMass tells us that multiplication comes before addition, so we go ahead and multiply. Okay, so multiply 2 times 6 and 2 times 5. We end up with 12 and 10. So we have 12 plus 10. And now we can just go ahead and add, and we have our final answer, 22. Simple. One more, example 5. And example 5 says evaluate 12 minus 7 times, in the bracket, root 25 minus 3. Now this is a very interesting question. Okay, now we have root 25 minus 3, and basically what we have here is, now we have brackets. Okay, we have an index. Okay, our index in this case is the root. Okay, so write BidMass. Okay, we have brackets, we have index, we have subtraction, we have multiplication. Okay, and now BidMass tells us the first thing we need to do, we need to work the brackets. Okay, but then in our brackets we also have 2 operations, because you asked to find the root of 25 and you also asked to subtract. Now square root, squares, they all come under indices. Okay, so the I, so right after brackets the next one is the I. Okay, so and before subtraction, before multiplication, the one thing you need to do is you need to find the square root of 25 following I, because I comes before every other thing. So in our bracket we have the square root of 25 and we have 5. Okay, and then we can now work our bracket. Okay, so let's go over this again. First thing is we're going to work what's in the bracket. Okay, but then in the bracket we also have 2 operations. We have subtraction and we have an index. Okay, and following BidMass tells us that we need to do the index before the subtraction, so we find the square root of 25 before subtracting it from 3 to solve the bracket. Okay, and now we have 5 minus 3. Solving the bracket, we end up with 2. And now we have subtraction and multiplication, and BidMass tells us we need to multiply before we subtract, and we have 7 times 2 gives us 14. So 12 minus 14, we end up with an answer minus 2. And yeah, that would bring us to the end of this very wonderful lesson, and you can go ahead now and solve the questions on the worksheet. And yeah, bye for now.